Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Penwani Atika binti Wan Azri and my ID number is BJN 23071031. So, as you guys know, The Nightingale and the Rose are wrote by Oscar Wilde. So, today I'm gonna talk about his background. So, his real name is Oscar Finger of Flaherty Wells Wilde. He was born in 16 October 1854 in Dublin, Ireland. So, he was an Irish wit, poet, playwright, and novelist. He was the second of three children in prominent family. So, Wilde attended Trinity College in Dublin, where he excelled in classics and won a prestigious Berkeley Gold Medal for Greek. So, Wilde married with a woman called Constance Lyard in 1884, and they had two sons. But despite with his marriage, Wilde has a relationship with a man called a bossy. Wilde sued for libel and sentenced to 2 years of hard labor. And after his release from prison in 1897, Wilde wrote De Profundis. It is a long letter reflecting to his life, and his final words, The Ballad of Reading Gaol. It was a poem inspired by his prison experience. And Wilde died on November 30, 1019 in Paris at the age of 46 years old with a meningitis, or it called a middle ear infection.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. My name is Nur Ashrafsna binti Nur Azim. My ID number is BGN 23071033. Plot and free tag. A student wants to impress a girl, but she demands a rose. The Nightingale heard his sadness and decided to help. The Nightingale sacrificed her life by pressing her heart to a thorn and creating a red rose with blood. The student gives the red rose to the girl, but she rejects it, choosing jewels instead. Heartbroken, the student throws the rose away and decided love is useless. Exposition. The young student love for the girl and his desire to give her a red rose. Rising action. The Nightingale decides to help him and sacrifice her life to create the red rose. Climax. The Nightingale dies and a beautiful red rose blooms from her sacrifice. Falling action. The student offers the red rose to the girl, but she rejects it, preferring jewels, causing the boy to be upset and confused. Resolution. The student throws the rose away and loses faith in love. He returned to his studies while the Nightingale's sacrifice goes unnoticed and unappreciated.
Hi, my name is Nura Zatulani binti Zahari and my ID is PGN 2307103113. So today I will present about the theme of the short story titled The Nightingale and the Rose. Theme 1. The Nightingale willingly sacrificed her life to create the red rose, believing in the power of love. She sang all night long, and the thorn went deeper and deeper into her breast, and her lifeblood ebbed away from her. Okay, this quote shows that the Nightingale suffered greatly as she pressed herself against a thorn to create the red rose. Even though it caused her immense pain, she continued singing because she believed that love is worth any price. Her willingness to endure such suffering highlights the depth of her devotion for love. Okay, for the evidence 2, the Nightingale views love as the higher virtue and dedicates herself to it despite the cost. Love is better than life. And what is the heart of a bird compared to the heart of a man? This statement emphasizes that she values love more than her own life. She believes that love is the greatest force in the world and that her sacrifice is small price to pay if it helps students to find happiness. Her work shows that she sees love as something noble, meaningful, and worth of any sacrifice in the world. Okay, for the second one is superficiality of human emotion. Evident 1. The young student's love is shown to be shallow when he quickly dismisses the Nightingale sacrifice after being rejected by the girl. What oscillating love is, it is not half as useful as logic, for it does not prove anything. This could show that the student never really truly value love. At first, he desperately wanted the red rose because he thought it would help him to win the girl's heart. However, the moment he faced rejection, he changed his opinion completely and decided to think that love is foolish. His reaction reveals that his feelings are never deep or sincere. He only cares about love when it seems beneficially to him. Okay, for the evidence 2, the girl rejection of the student because Chamberlain's nephew gave her jewel illustrate how materialism triumph over genuine emotion. I am afraid it will not go with my dress, and besides, the Chamberlain's nephew has sent me some real jewel. This statement shows that she's never cared about the effort, the romantic thing that student do, and the love behind the rose and the effort. Instead of appreciating the romantic gesture, she focused on material things and preferred the expensive jewels given her by the Chamberlain's nephew. Her work highlights her superficial nature as she values wealth and appearance more than the genuine love. And in the end, the story delivered a heartbreaking lesson. Acts of love and sacrifice are not always recognized or valued, and true love is often overshadowed by selfishness and materialism. The Nightingale did symbolize the pain of unappreciated love, making the story a tragic reflection on the reality of human emotion. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Alina Fauzana binti Badruddin. My ID number is BGN 230711080. Let's start with the setting of The Nightingale and the Rose by Oscar Wilde. Setting plays an important role in establishing the mood and supporting the themes of the story. It includes both the time and the place in which the events occur. The time of the story is predominantly set at night. This is shown in the scene where the nightingale sings all night long to create the red rose. For example, Wilde writes, "All night long she sang with her breast against the thorn." This choice of nighttime aligns with the melancholic tone of the story and emphasizes the solitude and sacrifice of the nightingale. The quiet of the night also contrasts with the chaos of human emotions, drawing attention to the nightingale's selflessness. The main locations of the story are the garden. The garden is where the nightingale searches for the red rose. It's described vividly in the text with the mention of different rose trees and their surroundings. For example, Wilde writes, "In the center of the grass plot was standing a beautiful rose tree." The garden symbolizes the natural world's purity and devotion, contrasting with human superficiality. The second place is the student's home. The student's home appears at the end of the story, where he returns after being rejected by the girl. Wilde writes, "So he returned to his room and pulled out a great dusty book." This setting reflects the student's intellectualism and his ultimate rejection of the love as he retreats into philosophy. Overall, the settings of The Nightingale and the Rose, both the nighttime and the location, supports the story's themes of love, sacrifice, and the futility of idealism, while highlighting the stark differences between the Nightingale's world and the human world.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Alan Natasha Mama Fikri and my ID number is BGN 230710644. And for today, I'm going to present to you about the conflicts that I found in the short story The Nightingale and the Red Rose. So there are two types of conflicts that I found, the external and internal. So let's jump into the external conflicts first. So the first one that I found in the external conflicts is the students versus the world, the society. So the student desires the professor's daughter's affection, but he faces rejection because he cannot provide material wealth and status. Okay, so for example, the professor's daughter chooses the chamberlain's nephew, who offers jewels over the student's red rose. So the next one is the nightingale versus nature. The nightingale must fight against the limitations of the rose tree, and the harsh reality of winter to create a red rose. So for example, the rose tree explains that the frost has damaged its branches, and the nightingale has to sacrifice herself to create the red rose. So that is the two external conflicts that I found in the short story. Okay, so for the next one, the internal conflicts, these two I found two of the examples here. So first one is the nightingale's dilemma, love versus life. The nightingale struggles with the decisions to sacrifice her life for the sake of the student's love. For example, she reflects on the sweetness of life, but ultimately decides that love is better than life. So for the next one, the professor's daughter's values, love versus materialism. So for this one is the professor's daughter prioritizes material wealth over genuine love. For example, she rejects the red rose, deeming it incompatible with her dress and less valuable than jewels. So, Yale struggles with nature. Meanwhile, the students struggle with society and their respective failures to achieve their goals due to external forces. So for the internal conflicts, the emotional dilemmas faced by the nightingale, the students and the professor's daughter that reveal deeper themes of love, sacrifice, and materialism. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so for the next slide is for their character and their characteristic. Okay, so the first one is the nightingale. The nightingale is very selfless and compassionate because the nightingale sacrificed itself to create a red rose for the student. As we can see here, he said, "The thorn shall pierce my heart, and the oath of my life shall flow into the flower." And the second one for the nightingale is romantic and idealistic. He sees love as the highest ideal and is willing to sacrifice everything for it. As we can see here, he said, "Love is more precious than life, and what is the heart of bird compared to the heart of man?" Okay, so for the second character is the student. So the student is very naive and emotional. So this boy student his emotion is very overwhelmed his reason, and he believes the simple gesture, the red rose, will win the girl's love. As he said, "She will come to the dance with me if I bring her a red rose." The next one is intellectual but shallow. Despite being intelligent, the boy, he lacks understanding of deeper emotion and the significance of sacrifice. As he said, love is a foolish thing. So, for the third character is the young girl, or the professor's daughter. So, the firstly, she's very materialistic and superficial because she prioritizes material possession such as jewel and over genuine emotional connection. And she said jewel costs far more than a flower. And the second one is she's very self-centered. She dismissed the student emotional gesture as insignificant and only concerned with status. She said, the Chamberlain's nephew has sent me some real jewels. Okay, so for the last and not least, we have the rose tree. The rose tree is very wise and passive. Though it provides guidance, the rose tree cannot take action and simply offers advice. So one of the rose trees say is, if you want a red rose, you must build it out of music by moonlight and stand it with your own heart's blood. And for the second one is detached. The rose tree remained emotionally detached throughout the Nightingale quest. And one of them said, I should have no roses at all this year.
Tone and style. Tune, melancholic and reflective, highlighting the sorrow of unfulfilled love and sacrifice. Scene. The tune is revealed in the Nightingale sacrifice and the student disillusionment. Evidence. The narrative described fainter and fainter grew her song, and she felt something choking her in the throat. Style. Lyrical and symbolic, with rich imagery and allegory conveying deeper themes of love and sacrifice. Scene. The description of the Nightingale's song and sacrifice are highly poetic. Evident, her voice was like a water bubbling from a silver jar.
Now, let's move on to the literary devices used in the story. Oscar Wilde employs several devices, such as imagery, symbolism, and irony. It is to enhance the emotional depth and meaning of the story. For the first literary devices is imagery. Imagery refers to language that appeals to our senses. Wilde used rich imagery to make the story vivid and emotionally impactful. For example, her voice was like water bubbling from a silver jar. This auditory imagery helps us imagine the Nightingale's beautiful and ethereal song, make the sacrifice feel more poignant. For the second example is all night long she sang with her breast against the thorn. Here, visual and tactile imagery captures the intensity of her sacrifice, emphasizing the physical pain she endures for the sake of love. The use of imagery allows reader to feel the Nightingale's suffering and devotion as if they were witnessing it firsthand. For the second literary devices is symbolism. Symbolism is another key device in the story. Wilde uses objects and characters to represent larger ideas. For the first one is the red rose. The red rose symbolizes true love and sacrifice. For example, the rose tree tells the Nightingale, you must build it out of music by moonlight and stain it with your own hearts and blood. The rose's creation through the Nightingale's sacrifice shows that true love often requires pain and selflessness. For the second one is the Nightingale. The Nightingale herself symbolizes selfless love and the devotion of an artist. Her willingness to die for the student's happiness reflects the idea that great love and beauty often comes at a great cost. Through symbolism, Wilde deepens the story's themes and connects the characters to universal truths about love and sacrifice. For the last literary devices is irony. Wilde uses irony to create a stark contrast between expectations and reality, adding a layer of tragedy to the story. For the first, irony is situational irony. The nightingale sacrifices her life for the red rose, believing it will bring true love to the student. However, the girl rejects the rose, saying the Chamberlain's nephew has sent me some real jewels, and everybody knows that jewels cost far more than flowers. This ironic twist highlights the futility of the nightingale's sacrifice. For the second one is verbal irony. After longing for love, the student dismisses it as silly. He says, "What a silly thing love is. I shall go back to philosophy." This shows the disconnection between his romantic ideals and his actions, further emphasizing the story's critique of shallow, ungrateful human behavior. In conclusion, Oscar Wilde's use of imagery, symbolism, and irony not only enhances the beauty of the story, but also deepens its themes. These devices help convey the contrast between selfless love and human superficiality, leaving readers to reflect on the true meaning of love